Hello, I'm Kris Wile. I graduated in 1994 from the Sloan School, and John Sturman was my thesis advisor. This is part of my anti-racism work, and this was started as translational work to help non-system dynamics folks think about the structures. So it is intentionally simplified and aggregated. The problem statement: growing gaps in both wealth and income. It's complicated by the fact that these gaps are biased along racial lines, especially given the U.S. history of discriminatory policies. My approach has been a literature review. Um, these diagrams initially were developed to explain structural racism to a non-SD audience, as I mentioned. My hypothesis is twofold. There's a wealth building reinforcing loop that has and continues to work better for some ethnic groups in some places more than others. It's led to a success to the successful dynamic. And vicious cycles have been dominant in places without generational precursors for wealth building. And I've dubbed that wealth grounding. R1 is the wealth building loop, the so-called American dream. There's a geographical split between wealth building and wealth grounded populations, and that split was rooted in real estate segregation and segregation in schools. Presently, 42% of school funding comes from local property tax revenue. Higher quality education increases income level, and higher income, of course, increases wealth and eventually increases housing quality and housing values. Though importantly, wealth accumulation only becomes possible after you get clear of the income needed for survival. I do omit another reinforcing link and loop between wealth and income for those who are at the highest levels of wealth. That's not my focus today, and it doesn't impact the conclusions. Places with lower educational quality have higher police presence. It's often referred to as the school to prison pipeline. In these places, there's a lower willingness and ability for the educational system to work with lower performing and frustrated students. There's also a lower threshold for what is considered to be criminal. And so they are shunted into the justice system. White youth in higher income school systems experience a different justice system when they struggle. It is more discerning and it's more tolerant. It's also more developmentally appropriate. Once youth become involved in the justice system, they earn no income while incarcerated, and afterward, felony convictions limit people's employment opportunities. U.S. prisons and jails are not healthy places, physically or emotionally. Serving as mental health institutions, they often provide minimal and lower quality health care. After release, delayed care also affects their health. And independently, struggles with physical, mental illness, and addiction limit employment in the general population as well as those previously incarcerated, and make earning more difficult. Access to healthcare is essential to health and well-being. Although the ACA helped, many people still cannot afford healthcare. So people are one accident or major illness away from joblessness and poverty level earning. Lastly, living in higher wealth places provides green spaces, lower crime, lower toxin exposure, and lower stress. All these contribute to greater health and well-being. The converse is also true. What I've gathered, there have been 150 years of differential access that continue to accumulate. Policies and bias within and between these institutions are contributing factors. This suggests a solution space that will include educational quality of housing, and equitable access to high quality care, as well as policies to decouple difficult experiences in one arena so that they not become self-fulfilling prophecies.